cigarette.
Okay.
Hey, cigarette. Hey. Let's see if we can sing it without the song.
Okay.
How
does it start?
Who wants to start?
Okay.
No, actually, Lee, you start.
You are the brave one. We all gotta die someday.
Wait, sing. Okay, now here, sing with your best.
Probably not from cigarettes.
Sing with your best singing voice.
Yeah.
I just did.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Do it again.
You are the brave one.
That was like, okay, so that you were auditioning for American Idol.
Just
that
give me a you.
Here,
Just give,
breathe from your
We should all
diaphragm.
do you are the brave one.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
You go.
You. You. No,
No, it's not. Now you're getting Bob Dylan.
You. You are the brave
one.
All right.
Oh, no, because she's going to do her whole thing.
What's my whole thing?
What's the whole
What's
thing?
my whole
You're gonna
thing?
do her whole fucking
you
Beyonce.
ratchet fucking raccoon.
Give me a you are the brave one. Okay.
What's my whole thing? What's my whole thing? Her whole thing where I see like a fucking angel. You guys can stay mad because you're giving Bob Dylan coming off a fucking relapse. Lee, you're giving someone who's like looking for a dog in the street.
I wish I was coming off a relapse.
You are the brave one.
You are the one. Let's get my fucking cousin in here and have him sing it.
Oh my, honestly,
that stupid fucking cuck.
Okay, and that's on cuck. But here's the thing, we do.
I don't know why I was just so mean. I love my cousin.
I know, he's honestly so cool. But we need to have a tea time live show where your cousin does perform. We need to make that happen.
We will make that happen.
We'll get a cool venue and then we'll do it up. Okay, go off. So the burping is starting. Not even a minute into the episode.
I don't have any farts yet, but when I do, I'm looking at two people who need them. 1, 2.
Yeah, so no, but here's the thing. I kind of feel like whatever happens on this episode, I kind of feel like, not to victim blame, but I kind of feel like it's my fault because I'm the one that just enabled this coffee purchase and you did get whole milk.
And I got whole milk because I always get whole milk because I love drinking whole milk.
You love drinking cow udder nectar.
Pussy shit almond and cashew milk because I'm not a fucking bitch.
I can't. I literally can't.
Pussy, 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 and a pussy, pussy, pussy. And I bet you, do you drink whole milk or regular milk? Right, I mean, they're both regular milk. Do you drink regular milk or like nut milk?
Lately, I've been doing nut milk.
Pussy.
No, because he's trying to clean up his life. Because he's tired of leaving those explosive fucking stink bombs in his toilet.
Hurts my tummy.
Remember the time that I shit in your toilet and it got everywhere?
Yeah, last week.
What do you mean remember? That was a week ago and you sent a picture. Or no, Lee sent the picture.
He texted the group chat and goes, "Are you fucking serious?"
But dude, it was like a paintball game went off in there or whatever. It
was a nightmare.
I'm surprised it wasn't on the walls. You probably should have had that
and
checked.
it was like speckles. It was like like fish food.
Don't say fish food.
Yeah.
Sea monkeys.
Did you clean it out? Did you clean it out or is it still there?
I peed it off.
No.
Dude!
Ew.
What is wrong?
Because that means he was fucking aiming his dick at my fucking poop and was like, yeah, get off of there.
This is the closest I'll ever get to her inside.
It's like, dude.
I'm gonna pee extra hard to get this off. This one's for Gabby. Wow.
You, Lee.
He hated that look how mad he is now.
I know. Look at he's big mad now.
Big.
All right, y'all. Today we're talking about the dripstick from Awkward Essentials, aka the cum sponge.
You guys, the dripstick is a soft medical grade sponge designed to absorb excess cum after sex. Makes the experience more comfortable for you.
Hell yeah. And it cuts down on the mess for you and your things, aka your beds, your sheets, your underwear, your towels.
Super easy to use. You just insert the sponge while holding onto the handle. Gently twist it around a few times and then remove it and throw it away.
I know that's right. It's only meant for vaginal use post-sex. It's not a menstruation product, sweetie, so don't get carried away. It's not birth control. It's not an STD protection. And I'm sorry for you playboys, it's not for your butt.
Not for the butt. So don't be shoving this thing up your ass unless you want to do it strictly for sexual pleasure, but it's not going to have the same result in your asshole that it has in your pussy.
It really ain't.
It's easy to use. It can go in your bedside drawer in your bathroom, or throw it into a bag on the go.
Or if you wear boots, you can put it in there.
Ooh, makes
Hey.
everything so much more comfortable after sex.
So if y'all know what it is and you know what it isn't, go visit awkwardessentials.com to get 10% off a box of drip sticks with the code TEATIME10, honey.
They come in packs of 10, 20, 69, or 100.
Sweet. TEATIME10 is the code. Awkward Essentials also has a ton of other great products. You can use the code TEATIME10 for. Mainstream is the disposable pee funnel to help you stand and pee when sitting isn't an option, aka porta potties. I know that's right. Gross public bathrooms, camping, or hiking.
Interesting.
On your neighborhood walk and you can't make it home. I've been there.
Jizz
Get that pee funnel
machine,
out.
get it out. There's jizz machine sweatpants. Don't literally know what the fuck that means, but I am interested.
Here's the thing. I need to cop myself a few. Maybe I'll use that code. And the Nikki Vibe Kit, which has everything you need for your first vibrator, including lube, cleaner, and the discreet essentials bag to keep everything nice and tidy.
That is TeaTime10 and awkwardessentials.com.
TeaTime10, awkwardessentials.com.
I just took half of Lee's Lexapro because I forgot I haven't taken my Lexapro in like 3 days. Feeling a little wonky now.
I don't
What'd
think
you
you
put in that?
just took it. It hasn't even said
What'd
it.
you put in that?
Fucking Lexapro.
Stop.
Did you roofie me?
He probably did, to be honest.
You wish I roofied you.
You wish.
It actually would be a fun episode.
That would be a fun
Roofies
episode.
with Lee.
Yeah, Lee roofies both of us, and then it's just us here.
Okay, you guys, at 1,000
him trying to have
Patreon
sex with us.
subscribers, we're gonna let Lee roofie us. You heard it here first.
We do have to get our buttholes waxed. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's coming up in
We
Feb.
are, right? Yeah, we hit 500 this last week.
Are we getting somebody to wax? Because I actually would like them to do my pussy too while we're at it.
Yeah, we are.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, great, because I need to get my pussy. I've never had my pussy waxed. I would love to have that happen.
Our friends from San Diego are going to come up.
Really?
And do it. Yeah, and we'll
Oh my
film
God,
it. We'll film it special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
great.
yeah.
I've never been waxed before. I can't wait.
Great.
She's an actual waxer.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna wax my pussy.
Yep. Licensed.
Cool.
She has a bed she'll bring up.
Shut up.
Okay.
Yep, she has like
so we don't
the
have to go
whole
in your
thing.
bed?
I mean, I'm gonna say to tell her to leave in the car, but
How come everything you say makes me sad?
Lee is wearing a nice hat today. It compliments his.
Lee, you are wearing a nice
Is
hat.
that hat? Does that say God?
It kind of low-key does.
it says GD. Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yep.
God. So
Gonorrhea disorder.
what's today's episode about?
Awkward hookups.
Awkward hookups, cringy,
Or as Lee
fucking
calls them, hookups.
it was a pretty good one. Honk.
Hi, Honk.
Hey, honk.
Honk, what percentage? Okay.
yeah.
Obviously, we've both had them. But here's the thing. What percentage would you say you've had more awkward than not? Or are there any that just perversely
I've
stand out?
truly just blacked it all out.
I know.
telling
That's
you.
the thing about women. We just block this shit out.
I know. The amount of people I've had sex with, the amount of people that I've also just thought back on my life and thought I could have gone my entire life without ever sleeping with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need to do that. I've had awkward ones. I have had some pretty awkward ones. There's one, I know I've talked about it on here, that just sends chills down my spine every
Fuck.
time I think about him.
What?
I didn't have sex with him, thank God. But and this was why, actually.
Okay.
It was this guy that I'd kind of been talking to. I swear I've talked about it on here.
Okay, remind us.
And we're kissing, hooking up, and then he goes to
Oh, no.
suck on my tits. And then he starts moaning like a baby. Like a baby starts making baby noises. We talked about this.
I don't remember this
I
at all.
do not remember
Are you
this.
serious? He starts making baby noises and he starts going, I swear to God, he starts going, and
What?
it took everything in my fucking body to do that just now, by the way. It was
So he was sucking on your tits and
Going,
legitimately. Now here's the thing. So just for those of you that are listening or new to the podcast, Sweet Honk over here, she doesn't have what I would call supple tits. She has.
Why are you trying to break me down right now? Yeah,
I'm not bringing you down. I'm just.
I've got what you'd classify in a Target section, bra section, as a AA cup.
A AA. So just
We're
strictly.
talking no tits.
There's nipples on the horizon.
I've got a little tiny bit of titty fat, but that's really it. It's not but I'm pretty double A stacked.
So he went there
And
with
starts
mommy
going-
milk. But you know what? It's kind of respectable that he went down there and he said they could be D's, they could be A's. I'm still
I'm
gonna
still- Yeah. And then as he's doing that, he starts going,
Oh God.
"You like that, you little fucking slut?" And I said,
Oh
"Oh."
no, he didn't. No, he
Yeah,
didn't.
he did. I said, never been drier. Never been drier.
No, that's someone who should
So
probably.
between him look at Lee's mouth is agape because he's realizing that he's been doing this the entire time.
Lee, that
Come on,
sucks.
those are two different sides of the coin.
Lee, that
Like,
really
are they?
sucks.
Yeah, those are like
He's
those
playing-
are two things that don't go together.
Yeah, they don't
Yes.
go together.
usually.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, he's being the sub and the dom.
yeah.
I don't even think he fucking touched my pussy. In fact, I don't think he did anything. I think it was just the tit thing. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good.
You stopped?
After that,
Gabby, I'm not kidding. Like, literally not right now. Not after what I've been going through. That's the Gabby!
Okay, that was loud. Like I've been overdubbing some of the farts, but I don't think I need to overdub that.
Can you hear that?
I could hear that.
You'll be able to get it.
We're going home. Kicking you out.
That's what happens when I have a little bit of milky.
I don't like you. Don't fucking kick it over here.
Anyway, he's crying, saying, "You like that, you little slut?"
I'm already over this story, to be honest.
Yeah, so that was a bad one.
Oh, was it a bad one?
That was a bad
That's
one.
what you deserve.
That was a
I can't.
one-off. Never
I'm
did it
so
again.
angry right now. It's just like literally, we're gonna all get pink eye now.
If I hold it in, I'm hurting my body. It hurts my body.
Your asshole is a graveyard of anal fissures,
Yeah.
and you need help.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Use nut milk. Like
I don't
switch
understand.
I don't like nut milk. I like milky
oat is
milk.
Good.
Nope. Milky milk.
Yeah, or soy.
Milky milk.
A little soy might fucking give you some tits.
Okay. I don't need your fucking body shaming.
You do
Would
a little
did you
bit.
just do like this? It's disgusting.
Is that how Lee is feeling? He's like
Yeah, he
feeling it like.
That's what he does when he touches. Ew. He's for those of you who are listening, he's simply rubbing his fingers together really quickly.
Like a money, like
he's doing a money thing. But
yeah,
really
he's
quickly.
like money.
Yeah, I'm like Mr. Krabs.
But that's how you're feeling, like the
Oh,
bottom
money,
of
money,
tits,
money.
like you're feeling them like a ball sack. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pinch and twist.
So
Well, okay,
that
so
was really cringe.
That really sucks. I'm trying. Well, one time I think I was like 20, and I go over to this
Take
guy's
notes, Lee.
house. Huh?
to take notes, Lee.
I'm dead. And I go over to his house and we start making out, and he was really fucking funny. So I thought, okay, for some reason, I think that he's going to be really good. Hey, guess what? That was not the case. We go over. For some reason, guys love like not only all the lights on, but honestly, like the setup you have in here, Lee. I feel like guys just have this when a girl comes over. They're like, oh, let me bring out the spotlight. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
thank God.
Yeah.
Gotta get the lighting right.
Turn
Gotta
them
get it
all on.
like a morgue almost. But so a hospital. So we start making out, and he's like, I can only describe it as like a woodpecker. Like the tongue is like going in and out, like
Ugh.
darting, like
No.
like a frog catching bugs with
Yeah,
its tongue.
yeah.
That's what he was doing to me. And then he started to go down on me. I kind of was just like paralyzed and awkward horror. And so I'm just like laying there, and then he starts going down on me. And unfortunately, he did chew my clit like a horse chewing a cube.
Hmm.
And I did push him off, and I said, okay,
Mm.
I think I'm going to go. And he goes, none for me.
No.
Mhm.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't.
And he raised his shoulder. He went,
No.
none for me.
No, he didn't.
So
So you made that up.
I hand on the fucking Bible.
You made
He
that
did. Nope. And I just stared at him, and I was just like, and don't worry, we were in improv together. And so I did have to see him again
Why do you hook up all these improv guys?
because I used to do improv.
So
I
weird.
know. Okay, you honestly need it, but anyway. So, but I was just like, oh fuck. So, anyways, I said no. I gotta go home. I don't feel well, and then I left, and then I did have to see him the next day, or no, like 2 days after for our improv thing, and it was sufficiently awkward.
None for me.
Yeah, literally, none for me.
Wait, do you do that when you?
Lee, please don't do that.
Do you
seriously.
expect women to go down on you?
No, not expect.
But you want them to.
I mean, yeah, I'd like it.
Here's the
Do
thing.
you go down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you?
No, Lee munches.
You think?
Yeah, definitely.
How long do you stay down there?
Probably too long.
There's nothing truly worse than being eaten out by somebody you don't want to be eaten out by.
Here's the thing.
It's happened to me far too many times.
I'm not going to blame that on
fucking
him
hate it.
because like I did allow him to, but what I'm going to blame him for is why the fuck would you start licking my, and don't worry, he was doing like the ribbit lick on my fucking pussy. And then he went,
Is eating pussy hard?
I think learning someone's body it can be difficult, but I don't think it's hard necessarily. I think it's just like, everyone's different.
Compare notes. You two.
Gabby's so fucking gay. Okay.
Gabby just wants us to talk about eating pussy.
Literally.
What's going on down there?
Lee, do you think it's hard?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's hard. I don't know. I've said it before, but I'm good at following directions.
Okay.
And
That's interesting. We've told you what to do on this podcast.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You've told me what to do?
We told you to do on this podcast.
Sure.
And that's on the Producer Strikes Back. Y'all heard it here first.
Okay.
Lee flossed 2 of his teeth and he said, I'm coming in here, dick out, balls out, toilet flushed. Y'all aren't fucking getting me. Lee flushed his fucking toilet. I don't know what happened. The water pick is doing wonders.
I'm pissed off those shit splatters.
Literally.
Phone's off. Come on, you guys. This is a
No, that's
professional setting.
Lee's.
That was
That's
me.
literally Lee's.
That was me.
Yeah, no, I got my pussy ate the other night. Last night, in fact.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
why she wanted to bring it up.
I did. That's not why, but goddamn, he is really good at it. And we'll leave that there.
I thought you guys weren't having sex for 3 weeks.
Well, we've been eating each other out. And then we had sex.
Yeah.
But I waited 12 days. It's been 12 days.
Okay. That's not 3 weeks.
No, it's not 3 weeks. And yeah, I have to tell my fucking sponsor. Was it good sex? Yeah, you bet.
We don't need to keep this in the main episode.
We can.
Okay.
We can. See you on Patreon for the rest.
Yeah.
And that's on Patreon. And that's on, we say way too much on Patreon. We drop the names, we drop the times, we drop the longitude and latitude of where these incidents happen.
We drop where they live.
We need to honestly stop. Because in my head, there's still just 5 people on Patreon. And so I'm like, ha ha ha. And then there's
in my
really
head,
not.
nobody even listens to this podcast.
Oh, in my head, this is just us hanging out with Lee.
With a mic in front of us.
This honestly is just hanging out with a white guy. This is what this is.
And that's what we should rename the podcast. Hanging out with a white guy.
Hanging with the whites.
Yeah. Hanging with the whites.
Lee, here's the thing. Have you ever been hooking up with a girl and you could tell that she wasn't fucking into it? And what did you do?
No, because if she's not into it, then I'm not getting that far.
Yeah.
Like I need I need enthusiasm to even make a move.
You'd be surprised how much we all fake it.
You'd be surprised how little I have sex.
I don't know if I'd be surprised.
I'm going to be honest, Lee, you're really on your witty game today. You're really on the ones and twos. It's like, it's kind of like melodic the way that you're like, a scootily beep bop boop.
So, okay, let's get into the fucking stories. Why don't we?
A lot of stories from y'all. Gabby, do you want to send them to me now? Because
I sent them to you this morning.
Did you?
When we were on the phone for 6 hours.
Yeah, Gabby and I did kind of record a podcast before this.
We just had a long talk.
Her in her room and me in my room. And that's on... Gabby, you did not need to Venmo me $5.
You bought me a coffee. I
know, I did.
Okay, so we have a lot of emails today. We are absolutely not going to get through even half of them.
I sent you a couple top tiers.
This was an interesting one. Lesbian deathbed sex.
Oh, God. Period girl back at it. I think you started last week.
Period girl.
I'm going to start this week. Okay. All right, this one is short and sweet to get us into it. Again, Gab and I haven't read these stories. We're going into it cold, but the subject says, period girl back at it. And there is a poop emoji. So I have high hopes. Oh, honkies, how I love you. Anyway, so the theme was awkward hookup stories, ... And I remembered a long time ago when I did anal for 4 hours on acid.
No. That's the worst acid trip that's ever existed.
I'm not trying to be funny right now. Tears just came to my eyes.
Because that was one shuddering.
Because that's the worst, not 4 hours, already sex on 4 hours.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
You're going to get, chafing, but then for your asshole, no. Toward the end, by the way you spelled towards is iconic. Towards the end, I said, hey, we got to wrap this up fast. And the dude said, I wonder if he did say, okay. And the dude said, ooh, I'm almost there. Then 5 minutes later, I shit all over him and ran away screaming, don't ever look at me again. She is me. For years after that, I'd bring it up around his friends. I'd randomly ask him, hey, remember when I shit all over you? Ha ha ha. Good times, right? Namaste, hunkies. Well, that was visual.
That was a nice warm up into today's episode.
That was
kicking off today's episode with a 4-hour anal acid trip.
Explosive anal acid trip.
And explosive anal extravaganza. Now that's the name of this week's episode.
Yeah.
Explosive anal extravaganza on acid.
Yeah.
Now that would sober me right up. And sounds like a fucking nightmare. Anal's a nightmare in general. So sorry you had to experience that on acid. All right.
Wait, how old were you when you first had anal?
How old was I?
Yeah.
4.
Dude, yeah, I forgot that your dad put in work. He busted you open, girl. Damn.
What could I say? Hot.
What could you say?
What could I say?
I don't know what you could say.
About
that.
No. First, how old was I when I had anal? So with my ex, when I started stand-up 7 years ago, 25.
25.
25. How old am I now? 31. I don't know the fucking math. 26.
So it was 6 years.
Sure. 6 years ago. That one and done.
Literally.
I'm good.
When was the first time you had anal, Harper?
The first time I had fucking anal.
Not fucking anal.
I was 18.
With who? Uncle Rick?
Yes, there's this tradition in my family. where because for some people there's like there's a bat mitzvah, there's a quinceañera. For my family, it's
everyone gets
it's kind of like an anal reunion. Did
Eli also do it with him?
No, he wasn't old enough. He wasn't old enough to participate.
What about when he turned 18?
You have to have a 5 o'clock shadow to participate, but it's kind of like a tradition in my fam.
So you have the 5 o'clock shadow.
No, what?
You have a 5 o'clock shadow.
No.
Well,
no.
you said you have to have a 5 o'clock shadow.
No,
to
I was talking about for the men.
So what's the tradition for the women?
To get anally opened by the men in the
3 o'clock
family.
Shadow. Really quick. It's a thicker beard.
Yeah.
Right.
Gabby didn't know what that was, and that became really apparent, but it's okay.
It's interesting.
Okay. Go.
Lesbian deathbed sex. Relatable for honk. Hey, to my favorite honkies, including Lee. I have a fucked up friends with benefits story for y'all that includes an alcoholic lesbian who didn't wear deodorant and only showered a few times a week.
Literally you.
Literally you. So I'm a bisexual queen, but
you're in the closet.
Gay queen.
Okay.
Straight up gay bisexual. So I'm a bisexual queen, but due to trauma, I at some point thought I was a lesbian.
You.
Being a lesbian is lonely as fuck. Jesus.
Wait, let's hear her out.
Yeah.
I kind of like where she's going with this.
Okay, so I'm a bisexual queen, but due to trauma, I at some point thought I was a lesbian. So she's saying that. Wait, this is so funny. Hold on. She's saying that the only way that you can truly be
she sounds like your
gay is if you have a lot of trauma.
When someone who shall not be named, because we're not allowed to name this person anymore, was in their really conservative era. This is also what they would say. What is this, like a conservative belief?
Maybe. Being a lesbian is lonely as fuck.
Oh.
Especially if you're wanting a friends with benefits situation and not a relationship or a one-night stand. So I was so desperate for pussy, I pretty much would fuck any woman. Is this what it's like to be a man?
This sounds like a man.
And this led
Lee wrote in on his burner.
Yeah, he did. And this led to a lot of bad hookups.
No.
But one, friends with benefits in particular, stands out. I met her on a dating app and quickly met up with her. Her driving about 3 hours to get to me, then another 2 hours to her friend's house, who I'd never even met. Jesus. Nymphomania makes people do reckless shit. While we were there, she sexually assaulted me. Okay, this took a turn. While we were there, she sexually assaulted me while I was high on my sedatives and then said I wasn't good at sex. Despite me giving her an orgasm the next morning. Like, no shit, I literally didn't know what planet I was on when she was trying to fuck me. This is a roller coaster of emotions.
I know. Okay.
Thus began a long string of an abusive friends with benefits situation. She would
Okay.
insult me, then compliment me in the same breath, pressured me to become an alcoholic with her, and would constantly compare herself to Shia LaBeouf. Okay, that's the worst thing I've heard
That
so far.
and that's on FK Twigs. Okay.
To be fair, she did look like him if he had nice tits.
Stop.
Now that's a horrific image. And we're going to have to
Or
edit
is
a
it kind
picture of
of
Shia
intrigue-
LaBeouf with tits.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of intrigued. Okay.
Also would simultaneously say I'm too skinny but thick as fuck and should be glad big asses are in now. You would think sexual assault would be the worst, but no, it's actually the fact that she looks like Shia LaBeouf with tits.
Yeah, no, that actually is the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
We could have told you that.
Yeah.
One night after we hooked up in her family's possibly haunted hillbilly lake house, she then told me that her grandma had died in that same bed.
This is
If
enchanting.
you asked me to predict a single thing that was going to happen in this story,
No, you
none
couldn't.
of this.
You honestly couldn't.
You know when you're like typing into your phone to just see like what it
This
will
is-
construct for you?
This is like
you just
reading.
keep hitting center
Yeah,
button.
you just keep
Yeah.
hitting and it just keeps
Yeah.
making up things.
Well,
That's
this is
what
like
this is.
you know, like when you play Mad Libs. This is you're
Yeah.
reading back someone else's Mad
Yes,
Libs.
that's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
it. Okay, so but one night after we hooked up in her family's possibly haunted hillbilly lake house, she then told me that her grandma had died in that same bed. Mind you, this is rural Alabama. So chances of her grandma having been a homophobe were like 90%. I don't know if it was the guilt or her grandma coming to haunt me, but that night I kept hearing ghostly wailing. Scared the shit out of me.
Ghostly wailing.
Ooh.
Why did I not get that?
Why are you doing it in such a low octave?
He's getting into it.
Get someone sexy ghost.
Okay. It eventually ended when she left me alone having a
That made
panic
me sad. Mm.
Fucking hate you both.
It eventually ended when she left me alone having a panic attack at another friend's house so she could grab cigarettes with some other girl. It doesn't take an hour to do that, even in rural Alabama.
Wait a minute.
I think she
This
was
sounds exactly like we read a story like this. What if they hooked up with the same person? Because we read a story like this that's really similar on like a different prompt.
I don't remember. Okay. I think she was disappointed I wouldn't eat her, but she literally wouldn't regularly shower. And I could smell her pussy when laying my head on her stomach with panties on. I pretend.
This is giving a roommate
Those are
Kate.
hard peas.
I know this is. It really is. I want to read it in like it's a
Pussy with panties on.
what do they call it? Erotica. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Try that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna restart. Okay. We're in erotica. I think she was disappointed I wouldn't eat her, but she literally wouldn't shower, and I could smell her pussy when laying my head on her stomach with panties on. I pretended I was just nervous. I didn't have the heart to say that her pussy was musty. Also, because it would have been on grandma's deathbed. Another lesbian that assaulted me was also
What is going the fuck on?
another lesbian that assaulted me was also from Alabama. Okay, so Alabama's packed full of lesbians
can
that are
I
just
say-
out here fucking assaulting.
Okay, love and light to this person, and I'm so sorry you went through this, but I am gonna say it sounds like it was written by like a conservative person who's like
Who
trying
hates-
to like who hates lesbian,
Yeah.
who's trying like, and then look what this lesbian did
Yeah.
to me
It's
in the
very
wild.
Andrew Tate.
It's like
Yeah.
trying to, it's like a fake piece on why
Stinky
being gay
pussies,
is bad.
sexual
Yeah,
assault.
no, you're right.
Infidelity, like
All of the things.
Yeah.
Hold on, because it's getting even worse. I'm going to start from the top
Okay,
right there.
okay.
Another lesbian that another lesbian that assaulted me was from Alabama and was albino, and I think legitimately, possibly, mentally deficient.
Oh.
So now we're saying that this lesbian has albinism and is mentally handicapped.
mentally handicapped albino lesbian.
So we've got an assortment of things going.
This is fantasy.
My friend nicknamed her the pasty predator. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever trust Alabama lesbians ever again.
Why did I just have an out of body experience? Not the pasty predator.
I love you all, and I'm glad there's a podcast so unhinged but so intelligent.
Thank God that's over.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you for giving me a bright, funny light in this fucked
Now
up
Lee sounds like a true woman. Okay.
dying grandma's world.
Oh my God.
Now that was a story to really take us through.
Honey, I hope you have a fucking journal, a God box, a sponsor, and a therapist, because what you went through is worse than a fucking Vietnam vet. Like, that is so...
Yeah, not the albino mentally handicapped.
No, okay, please don't.
That was definitely written by a conservative man.
Okay, this is really tiny, so I'm going to... Or so, really short, so I'm going to read two back to back. Okay. Hi, Honks and Sir Little Lee. I once hooked up with a guy who ended up having the smallest penis I've ever seen, and he couldn't get it hard.
It's a fucking bummer.
Oh, shit. They wrote in about me.
Good one.
He's becoming self-aware. I reached into his pants. You have got to keep flossing. This is like unreal. Okay. And that's on clearing up the brain fog. Okay. I reached into his pants to find his dick and could not. He flopped it around to try and get it hard, but it didn't.
This is what I swear to
It's
God.
like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
But it didn't work. My hand was too big for it.
No.
And I have tiny hands.
No.
I felt bad leaving because of his tiny dick, so I stayed for hours. Now I am paranoid about dick size, and I'm always learning the reappearance of the tiny little D. Oh, always fearing the reappearance of the tiny little D. XOXO, y'all rock. Honey,
Man,
so do you.
that sucks. That's
hard.
That
It's
does
hard.
suck. It sucks for guys that have really small penises. It sucks.
It does suck because, you know, when you're hooking up with a girl, if you just can just switch out the strap and then you're good to go. But then with a guy, that's just kind of...
That would be my biggest fear of having a son. What if he had a small dick? Gotta make sure my son's got a big dick.
He could probably still go down on you. Like, I don't think I don't think the sex would be compromised.
You make a good point.
Yeah. And especially because he's your son.
Mommy could teach him.
Mommy knows best.
Mommy knows best.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
he came out so you can teach him how to go in.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a good perspective shift, Honk. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, here's a long one. Or not a long, but like a real one. Okay. Hey, Honk, Bonk, and Lee. Why am I fucking Bonk? Okay. Hi, hey, Honk,
We
Bonk.
don't know.
Yeah, you don't know who's who.
It
switches back.
I know. I know. So,
What if you're Lee?
you know what? What if
You could be Lee.
I could be Lee? When you fart, you are giving Lee, though. Okay. With that fucking...
I
Sprayed your diarrhea off my toilet.
sprayed it with my pee-pee. My aim is really good.
Yeah, because your mom fucking taught you. Okay. Hey, Honk, Bonk, and Lee. Ugh. So 2 awful hookups still haunt my memories, but here's the short one first, as a tease. I had been talking to this guy online for a while. I'll call him K. No. We went to high school together and ran in the same group of rockers and skate rats, but I had an on and off relationship with one guy in the group, so I hadn't thought anything of K. Eventually, we started flirting online, and of course, the line was blurred between just flirting and kind of dating. Cringe as fuck, I know. But I was a baby 18-year-old. A legal adult. Okay. No. Well, I finally made my escape and moved out of my parents' house and moved in with some shitty ass roommates. And after getting plastered and passing out the first night, I woke up and told him he could come over so we could actually hang out. 1, he was not as attractive as my mind let me remember. Definitely not my type, but oh well. The first night, he was only worried about fucking and didn't even talk to me for 30 minutes before trying to get in my pants, which I allowed because I had been drinking. He didn't wear a condom, so when we were done, I made him drive me to CVS to buy me Plan B. Then I let him spend the night. Woke up to run errands with my roommate.
Being a woman is a nightmare.
Being a woman is the worst thing that can happen to a human.
It really is.
Woke up to run errands with my roommate, and he wanted to stay there while we were gone to keep sleeping.
No.
It's giving Snow White. Okay. Or Sleeping Beauty. Then the second time he came over, he got me drunk and tried to convince me to give him a copy of our apartment key.
No. Is this guy fucking homeless?
What the fuck? The other awful, no good hookup involved 2 guys, honey, did you give it time? Okay. And who I was obsessed with, and M, who is just along for the ride. I had agreed to having a threesome because I wanted N to like me so damn desperately that I went along with anything he asked. Well, he failed to mention that his friend had... Y'all, what is this? Vitiligo? Wait,
Vitiligo?
Vitiligo?
Yeah.
That was so
vitiligo
embarrassing
mean?
that I just said that like that.
No.
Fuck you guys.
It's like a depigmentation of the skin. So you like
Vitiligo?
Yeah.
Oh, is that when you have like the
you have like the white spots.
Right. Got
Yeah.
it.
That's not alopecia? Oh no,
No.
alopecia is where you lose your hair.
My dad has alopecia.
I have,
know, that's
I have
right.
a friend with I can't pronounce it, but
Vitiligo.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, it's giving Lee's trying to lie to be a part of the story. Okay, which I found out is a turnoff for me. No offense to any listeners if this gets read. Very offensive, but
Really?
honestly.
Vitiligo's so interesting. I think it's pretty. Anyway.
Okay, well, this person isn't as woke as you, which is actually surprising. I also spent $40 on some MDMA that didn't work because you have to spend 60. Okay,
Love that. Yeah.
didn't work, so that was great. We fucked for about 3 hours. God,
It's too long.
it's giving SSRIs.
It's too long.
Suffice it to say, I didn't come a single time, of course, and they couldn't stop. Oh. All the while, because M realized he was late picking his sister up from work. LMAO.
The fuck is happening right now?
This is another acid trip. I wish I could tell you that was enough to make me stop talking to both of them, but I let M drive 15 minutes to my apartment later. This went down between 5 to 8 p.m. and at 3 a.m. for a quick fuck in his car until I finally told him I had to go to work in a few hours and went back home. As for N, I was still a simp and had attempted to have another threesome with him and another super cute friend of his. Unfortunately, the other friend, Jay, wasn't bi like us, and he was hella uncomfortable with me blowing N first. LOL. He got pissed off and stormed out and left. Well, I got to fuck N and go home.
So N just wants to fuck all of his buddies.
Yeah, so there's something happening with N, and I'm wishing him love and light on his explorative journey. And she goes, thank you for reading. Even if it's off the pod, these moments haunt me to this day because they're so damn awkward, and I can't believe I was a part of it. Fun and cute little side note, I actually cheated on K with N after taking acid and having some of the best sex of my life, which ended, okay, not everyone having acid sex, which ended things with K and got the ball rolling with N into the shit show that was. Love y'all. Okay, girl, love you. And that was, I feel like I'm on acid now.
Sex is so
Complicated.
messy. Yeah, it's just like these things that we go through, these people that we fuck, like it's just messy. Like hearing that like made me feel like dirty. Not in any offensive way. It's just like, ugh, like
because it is just so messy, and then it's like primal, like
and people were just kind of like nasty with each other and like disrespectful with each other's bodies, and it's just like it's like sex is just like dirty.
Honestly, that's the time that I had awkward sex was on acid. Like that makes sex pretty awkward.
Acid does?
Yeah, it can.
For me, anyway. It was like, well, I could just tell she didn't really like me. And it was like
very apparent when you were on acid.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, this is dumb.
I've tried to have sex on Molly. It was not good.
I've had a lot of sex on like ecstasy. That's really, really good.
No, never,
yeah. I Molly's sex is really, it is extremely intense, but it's really, I've had fun on it. I did have acid sex before, and the thing that was awkward was that I was madly in love with the person I was fucking, and they, in a word, weren't. And so we had two different experiences. And afterwards, like when we were coming down, I was just like, oh my God, that was so beautiful. And like, I was describing like, it was like I could like feel colors. It was like very intense. And I was just like, what was it like for you? And he was like, oh, I felt nothing. And I said, you know what?
He's like, what?
Yeah. He said, oh, I didn't really feel any of that. And I said, okay.
Oh, you were here?
Yeah. I thought you were my hand. And I said, oh,
yeah.
No, I am a human woman. And
I will tell you I think sober sex is the best sex that I've had, which was literally last night. And that's the best sex I've ever had. Anyway, that's
really?
Gone. It was actually really good. It was a really good first experience. That never happens.
Really good. Yeah, no, because sober sex can be really fucking scary.
It was really good. Okay, anyway. Whoo! Uh-oh. Okay.
And that's on, it's not about best sex. It's about awkward sex. And here's the thing. Hooking up with someone with trauma is awkward.
I do remember my ex, who I guess technically isn't my ex because he was never actually my boyfriend, but we dated for a year and a half and he never called me his girlfriend. Anyway.
He called you his cumbud.
Yeah, he was a guy that I was in love with who was never in love with me. And was that even love, or was that just me being addicted to somebody who didn't really want to be with me? Anyway, I remember we were so fucked up and I like threw up in his bed after we had fucked.
Yeah. Threw
up in his bed. Was trying to fall asleep in it.
In the throw up?
In the throw up.
Yeah. Kind of like a little...
we had to throw sheets away.
Away? Y'all didn't wash or?
No.
Okay.
No. I guess it was kind of awkward.
Yeah. That's a little...
Anyway. Okay.
Okay.
Whoo! I'm a lady, and this story is about a guy I met in 2021. Oh, the title of this email is He Reminded Me of a Little Baby. I'm really good friends with his ex. I'm really good friends with my ex and his girlfriend. And one night, my ex introduced me to this guy who I had thought was cute. So he looked nearly exactly like my ex. This is confusing. Big ass mouth, sickly twink body. So like Pete Davidson-y. But it was super nice. So I thought, let's give him a chance. We got together for some drinks. So I decided I wanted to get drunk and get a piece of that bony ass.
I'm screaming.
Because I hadn't had sex in a year at this point.
Okay.
After some drunken making out on my friend's lawn, we got an Uber back to his place. His room was so fucking messy, with the mattress on the floor, of course, surrounded by dirty clothes, of course, with no pillowcases on his pillows. It's funny that you could tell that was going to be that guy's house by the way you described him physically.
Yeah.
But I was like, I will choose to ignore it because I just knew this boy was packing schmeat. More making out leads to me getting ready to slurp some dick. But as soon as I put it in my mouth, that thing goes limp.
Oh.
Internally, I'm like, oh, fuck. Have I forgotten how to blow a dude during my dry spell? But he goes, oh, sorry, that happens every time someone blows me. Like, oh, okay, let's just do a little more foreplay and get this thing going. But it doesn't go back up. At this point, we've been kissing for what feels like forever. So we just agree to sleep it off. I fall asleep for a bit, but I wake up to some movement and a noise. As I'm becoming conscious,
Mm-hmm.
I realize the movement is him humping my leg in his sleep. The noises are him suckling my neck and making tiny whimpers from the simulation.
Oh.
I did not know what to do.
Mm-mm.
It reminded me of a little baby trying to suckle on their mom. Yeah. I've been there. I have been there.
This episode is deeply upsetting.
Chilling. I couldn't go back to sleep because I was being haunted by what was happening.
Oh.
So I just awkwardly laid there and let it happen until his work alarm went off.
Oh.
I scurried home and just laid in the shower a bit, thinking about how awkward the situation was for me.
Oh.
Next time I saw him, he indicated he wanted to hook up again.
Nah.
I just told him that I wanted to live a more asexual lifestyle. That's the funniest thing you could have said.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to have...
That's the most brutal turn down.
I want to live
Not only was that such a disappointing hookup, it made you realize that you don't want to hook up with anyone ever again.
I mean, it made me realize that just now too. Like that is so jarring.
It is.
An asexual lifestyle.
I have a more asexual lifestyle just because I didn't want to have suckling on me again like his mommy. This is what my cat does to me, though. She suckles.
She do suckle.
She likes to suckle.
She did like it.
Baby, she likes to suckle on my skin.
She make a biscuits and she do suckle and make all the pillows and the blankets so wet. Soaking.
She does. She likes to peek at the blankets and give my skin a little suckle because she's a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other Kate doesn't do that, but P do.
But P like to
P
suckle.
love it to suckle.
P love to suckle. She's my little suckle. I love my suckle cat. Just because I didn't want to have suckling on me again like his mommy. Every year I get a memory in my Snapchat of me going over to his place, and I'm once again reminded of the last sexual encounter I was ever in. That was it.
Oh, honey.
That was it.
Honey, okay.
Every year? How many years have gone by
I know,
since
my
this?
heavens. She said asexual till I die, babe.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Thanks for reading. I tune in every week and I can never get enough of y'all. I love you. Keep up
Okay.
the fantastic work. With love from a dry spell diva.
Okay, Dry Spell Diva. We fucking love you so much. Thank you for tuning in.
Fuck.
And wow, I mean, if you are happy and this is what it is, then okay. But if it's what it isn't, then maybe, maybe get back out there. Because I don't know if we need to go out on a sour note.
Yeah. Well,
But that is kind of what being a woman is all
also,
about.
I will say that being a woman and hooking up is pretty much the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. I wouldn't wish being a woman upon my worst enemy. Being a woman and having to hook up with men is truly from hell.
And you want to know what? And you want to know what?
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It is from fucking hell.
It's from hell.
It's from fucking hell.
Hooking up with men to figure out which ones you like is a fucking nightmare from hell.
It's honestly,
It's a lot of disassociation.
it is wild how dissociative.
I was going to say, how many times have you disassociated while hooking up with a man?
It has 100% happened with every guy I've hooked up with.
Mhm.
If I'm in a relationship with them or if it's like a steady thing, I will come out of it.
Mhm.
But definitely the first few times I'm like, it's so like jarring.
And you're just laying there like,
And you're like,
this is it.
yeah.
And this is what creates life.
It's also interesting, like comparing sex with a man versus sex with a woman. Like I feel like with a woman, they're very like tuned, and except for the albino rapist or whatever the fuck that girl, the pasty predator, literally screaming. But so it's honestly giving fuck like a man. But I think okay, now just like deep throwing this coffee. But I do think it's interesting, at least just like with the women that I've been with, I feel like they're more energetically present. And then I feel like with men, they're not as in tune with what you're going through. You know, it can be fun, but I think it also can be kind of lonely because it's like you're not really being all the way seen. You're being a lot of the times used. Mm-hmm. Hello, Honks and Lee. One hookup that stands out to me, spoiler, we didn't actually hook up, okay, is my freshman year of college when a guy hit me up and said we should hang out. I was super naive at this point and I thought it was just a hangout. He suggested I drive him to a dance store so he could buy dance shoes for his ballroom dance class.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Is this a straight man?
I wouldn't suspect, okay, not you being judgmental, he could be bi.
That's true.
Or pan. But here's the thing, my first instinct wouldn't be like, oh, he's a dick slinger, you know, for me. Anyway, dance shoes for his ballroom dance class. Unfortunately, I did drive him there. It was awkward as fuck, and he went into the store alone. That in itself could have just been the email, but don't worry, it continues. Afterwards, he asked if I wanted to see his room because he was an RA. It does keep getting worse. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
So his room was nicer. Unfortunately, I agreed, and once I was in his room, he sat on his bed. I realized my fatal misunderstanding. He thought we were going to hook up. So I texted my friend to call with an emergency, and this bitch calls me and says she needs help.
I'm screaming
because of a refrigerator fell on her.
It's like, why wouldn't you call 911?
Yeah. Because ACAB. This man literally looked like a rat. Okay, he sounds like the people I hook up. Looked like a rat, and I didn't think he was cute at the time either. So I don't know why I agreed to even hang out in the first place.
That's what we do.
Oh, thanks for reading. Love you guys. P.S. I've been thinking about this for weeks. Fuck Harper, marry Lee, kill Gabby. Harper is a clean queen. I don't know about that, but okay. Lee is in tune with his emotions. I don't know about that either. Gives sound advice sometimes. I don't know. And I'm sorry, Gabby, but you're really hot and I love you. But if someone has to die, it's you. Oh my God. I would only marry Lee, but I would fuck either Gabby or Harper in a universe where I could have both.
Why do I have to die?
You're either dead or getting fucked.
Or
why am I not a companion?
Dead, you're getting killed and then fucked.
Why am I? I'd rather be. Yeah, no, I would rather be killed and then fucked. I don't want to. Don't fuck me and then kill me. Don't let me. Don't do me like that.
Yeah, don't do her like that.
Just fuck my dead body. I don't want to. I don't want that to be my last experience on Earth. Is getting fucked. I don't want that.
We're not making any money off this episode.
All right. Okay.
Wait, can I say pause? I just did this other podcast. I think it was To Be Weebies, and I did this other podcast, and within like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, fucking hell, and he's like, oh, we gotta timestamp that, and he kept timestamp, and I was like, finally, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, Harper, you keep cursing, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I was not supposed to, and he's like, oh, like yeah, if you do it too much, like YouTube like flags it, and I was
really?
Like, and I was like, oh, and then he's like, you have a podcast, and I was like, it's the Wild West up on that podcast, so it's like lawless, like.
But he does it. I was wondering what that was for.
Because is he doing it to you too?
Yeah.
Because of course we curse like goddamn sailors.
Yeah, I mean,
you gave up on it.
Yeah, I don't care really.
Whatever.
I think that we're just going to do what we're going to do.
But every time we record, you always say something within the first 5 minutes. You're like, can we not talk about in the first 5 minutes? Can we not talk
Can
about?
I tell you something? No, we can't.
Okay,
we can't.
Now here's something that I really want to get into.
Let's go.
And I didn't proofread this one, so we're all gonna.
No, we haven't proofread any of these,
Yeah,
so
right.
that's kind of the gag of this whole thing.
But the name of the email is really
enticing, enchanting.
Awkward cringe hookup with a comedian.
Finally.
So this happened when I was spiraling after getting dumped over my.
Do we know who wrote it in?
I don't know this name.
Okay.
Well, I know we have interacted on Instagram. I don't know. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay. So this happened when I was spiraling after getting dumped over my dog last year. You got dumped over your dog? After being
Dog
dumped,
train. Shit.
I began distracting myself from being sad by going on a lot of dates.
Okay.
But surprisingly, only one hookup. The hookup was with a guy I matched with on Tinder. Let's call him Jeff.
Okay.
We know a comedian named Jeff.
No, a couple.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying let's call him, but let's just pretend that's his real name.
I have a Jeff's in my phone. Should we call him? Let's see.
Jeff was coming in hot, was sending me a playlist. Oi, Capricorns. All right, now let's go through and see what comedians we know that are Capricorns. Oi, Capricorns and their fucking playlists. The flirty, sexy talk, and was pushing me to meet ASAP. So you know what that means. I was down for it because, sad. We planned to meet at a bar in Echo Park for drinks.
Oh my
This is
God.
very close
Oh my
to home.
God.
Who the fuck were
Who
you
the
hooking
fuck
up
is
with?
this?
God,
Okay.
I hope you name them in this. We were hitting it off, and because you know we know them.
Yeah, we do.
We have to.
Okay, go.
Because we live in this area. Okay, we were hitting it off and talking the whole time while ordering drink after drink. It was getting late, so we closed out and walked outside the bar. I was planning to lift home, but Jeff said he drove there and couldn't leave his car. Okay, good. So he's drunk driving. Couldn't leave his car because of where he was parked wasn't for overnight parking. I suggested he move his car and take a lift to my place, but he didn't want to do that. He insisted he was okay to drive me home. I know. Well, don't worry, girl. I've also done this a million times. Jeff's car could have been a hazmat scene. There was a lot of trash inside to the point where I had to kick some stuff out of the way to put my feet down. It smelled like moldy towels and his radio was missing. That sucks. That's gross.
Weird.
That's I've never heard anything
They
like that.
should I wouldn't. You.
That's
Imagine
crazy.
ever hooking up with somebody whose car is like that.
Yeah, that's weird. Were there boogers on the rear of your mirror?
Dude.
What's going on there?
What's the heck?
Yeah.
Why'd you go?
Yeah, what's the heck?
Why'd you go?
What's the heck?
What'd you go home with him for? Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Huh?
I swear to God, I know who wrote this in.
Okay. It smelled like moldy towels and his radio was missing. We played
Okay.
music on my phone.
Girl,
No, come on, man. That's
get up off your
sucks.
fucking knees.
I know. I played music on my phone on the way to my place. LOL. We get to my place and start making out. I soon learned that Jeff was very unkempt down there. I've never seen so much hair. Y'all ever see that grass that looks lumpy and bumpy, like in a Japanese tea garden? I attached a pic for reference. It's what his pubes were like.
Stop.
Ew. They had volume. There were levels to it. It was insane. But the thing that really gave me the ick was that he kept his socks on the whole time. Ew, don't fuck me with your goddamn socks on. That's so funny. I've literally fucked people with my socks on.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
Yeah. You think that would
I
be
have
the
metal in
first?
my feet, so my feet always get cold. So I just rather-
I actually just read a stat that it's easier to come with your socks on
Interesting.
because you're more comfortable.
What if we just didn't say anything for the rest of the episode?
Yeah, I'll leave. I'll
You'd
just
think they'd be
go.
the first
You
and
can
last
have it.
hookup, but you're wrong. Like, of course, you guys kept hooking up.
Yeah.
But you'd be wrong. Like I said, I was spiraling and sad and really liked the attention Jeff was giving me. Jeff asked if he could see me again, so naturally I said yes. We made plans for him to come over the next night after his open mic gig. He's a comedian? Okay, so maybe we don't know.
But here's the thing. The person that I know that hooked up with someone that has a very similar story, it was a one and done thing.
Important to know that this gig was in Van Nuys. And I live in Hollywood. He went all the way to Van Nuys.
You want to know
Mike.
you want to know what show he did in Van Nuys? That fucking Bringer show.
I hate this. I'm so glad that comedy is not like this for me anymore. Thank
I
God.
know. Okay, go.
He texted me when he was at my gate. I go out to meet him, and the man smelled like a bottle of whiskey. The booze fumes coming off him were intense. He was swaying, his eyes were bleary, and he also reeked of cigarettes. Didn't know he smoked. I'm still amazed that he drove that far, considering how wasted he was. This guy sucks. He asked to use my bathroom and was in there for a while. When he finally came out, it was obvious he helped himself to my mouthwash. We start making out and chatting, but he was talking gibberish that didn't make sense. Eventually, he passed out on me and was snoring so loud that I'm certain people outside my place could hear. Needless to say, I got zero sleep that night because of his snoring. The next morning, we fooled around a little, and then he peeled out while driving away from my place. To add insult to injury, he ghosted me.
Oh,
Yikes.
that sounds like a...
No good deed goes unpunished, am I right? Anyway, love you guys, and Gabby, thank you so much for sending the extra t-shirts. Oh, good, you finally got them. Good. Yes, okay, good.
Who the fuck is this?
We talk on Instagram. I don't know if we've ever met though.
Okay.
Okay, this is a fucking nightmare. Like these are the kinds of stories that truly just bum me out because it's like I have been through so many instances like this where you just like hook up with like nasty fucking people leaves you feeling like shit.
You want to know what's coming up for me? It's just like a feeling of kind of hollowness. Like it's
Exactly.
it makes you feel just kind of expendable. It makes you feel small. And that's just kind of how I feel for her.
That's exactly it.
I feel sad and I feel sorry for all the people that are writing in with these common themes.
Just small, dirty.
I think there is a way, because I was talking about this with one of my guy friends one time, and it was illuminating when we disagreed. I said, okay. But I think that there is a way to have casual fun hookups. Not everyone is capable of that. But I do think that there is a way to have casual hookups while still maintaining grace and respect.
Totally.
And I think that all boils down to communication and emotional intelligence, which not everyone is blessed to have. And, I know I struggle with that. But it's really colossally disappointing to hear these stories of like the entitlement that people feel towards other people's bodies.
Totally.
And traditionally, I see it mostly reoccurring with the way that men interact with women. But I do know that it can happen with I know it can happen outside of that as
Obviously
well.
with the pasty predators.
And that's on Pasty Predator. But it's very, it's sad. It's very sad. And I think that society is just rooted in like selfishness. And I don't think that hookups need to be this insidious. I don't think it needs to be this cold.
It's very much just, people just trying to get what they want. I do feel like instances like this happen more frequently when people are drunk and like getting fucked up. Like when you're getting fucked up, you have way more instances of these like dirty, dark hookups. It's just like we're gross when we're fucked up, and we like
you're the worst version of yourself. I mean, most of my bad hookup, the one that I just told y'all about, the improv guy, that was unfortunately sober, but most of my hookups that I've had a bad experience with are when I've been drunk, or they've been drunk, or like we're drunk, or I'm drunk, or whatever.
It just made me think of back, like I think it was like right after college. That I was hooking up with this one girl, and like it was kind of like a regular kind of late night thing, and then it just got to the point where she was like, "You do not call me drunk anymore." Wow. She's like, "Do not like either hang out with me sober sometimes, or we can't see each other anymore." I was
Did you?
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, it's like I had a sex with somebody twice, like in sobriety, like recently. It was just like a casual hookup. And like after the second time, I was like, oh, I don't need to do this again. And it was fine. Like it didn't feel like dirty and disgusting like this, but it wasn't. It didn't
make you feel good. It was just kind of. It didn't really make you feel anything.
It didn't make me feel anything. But I wanted to do it. Yeah,
that emptiness creates kind of like an echo, like a ripple effect inside you. And I think it's like
after the second time, I was like, oh, I don't need to do this again. But if I was drinking.
You would have.
I would have continued to like sleep with this person and just like have made excuses. And
also because like your real feelings when you're drinking are subdued, which is also kind of why drinking is enticing, because you don't have to raw dog all these emotions.
Right.
And you don't have to be as in touch with yourself. And it's hard to be that in touch with yourself by not drinking. It's really fucking hard.
Yeah. God, yeah. Hooking up with people is fucking, we're reckless. All right. Haunted hookup. This is a short one. I meant to send this a while ago, but it never fit a prompt until now. This hookup story is from about 10 years ago. I got my tongue pierced for my 20th B-Day, and it made me feel super sexy during BJ's. Okay, honestly, I love that. I don't know that it added much to the guy's experience, but I liked putting on a show with it. Right, girl, I get you. One night I was giving a BJ while looking up at the guy. I readjusted and put his dick back in my mouth without breaking eye contact. He suddenly had a look of absolute horror on his face. I realized I had accidentally inserted the bottom part of my metal tongue ring into his dick hole.
Oh. Oh, no. No. No.
And removed it as quickly as possible.
Oh, girl.
Needless to say, it totally ruined the mood, and he was really turned off by the piercing afterward.
I think he was just traumatized.
Thankfully, I didn't do any real damage, and his penis is fine. Oh, he's my husband now.
Ah! Get it?
And the memory still makes us shudder.
That's
Hey, but
so
he's your
funny.
husband now. So there's a nice ending. There's a golden
Yeah.
ending.
And see, ladies, get your fucking pens out. The key to getting them to fucking marry you and respect you is just to traumatize them first before they traumatize you. It's just a fucking race to the finish line.
Surprise sounding.
Yeah.
Here, can I read another one?
Is it short?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you my most awkward hookup. My friends and I call it the Spank Me Daddy incident.
Oh.
You may ask why. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I had a few dates with a dude. He reminded me of one I dated a few years back. It's a red flag if you ask me. The date went fine, so I went over to his house and we made dinner together and eventually began to make out. He didn't eat me out. I don't know why so many men don't enjoy giving oral, TBH, because they're pussies. As his clothes came off, I could see his dick. It was a bit bigger than average, lengthwise, and when I tried to get on top of him, his dick hurt, and he told me to stop. The problem is that I can only get off when I'm on top, so no orgasm for me. The whole sex was okay, but he kind of went too deep, and I didn't enjoy it. Well, for the last position, we were in missionary, and he asked, "What do you want me to do?" I mentioned that I like to be spanked. Well, something must have gotten lost in translation, as he proceeded to spank me, not once, not twice. He hit my ass. He didn't stop. He spanked me like I was a fucking racehorse. So just like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
In missionary. I still don't know how he did that. I was immediately turned off and just laid there, not knowing what to do. He finished, rolled on his side, and went to sleep. I should mention that he brushed his teeth for literally 2 seconds.
Don't look at me. Don't include me in this story.
Lee, I'm shutting my eyes so I don't.
I cringe every time I think back to this. Hope you had a laugh.
We didn't.
Bye. Everything about this was so
But this goes
disappointing.
Y'all, what did I just motherfucking say though? It's lonely. It's a lonely, hollow experience a lot of the time with hooking up. And that's something I'm like being more conscious of now as, you know, as I progress through my life with hooking up with new people, because like like that experience, like, you know, he was whack with you, you know, you felt like, oh, then you shut down. And then instead of like,
Right.
Also, here's the thing that I don't understand why people don't like, it really blows the fuck out of my goddamn fucking mind. Why can you not have, you got to have a conversation after sex. If you're going to be doing shit like that, it's called aftercare. Like if you're doing any type of like hitting, any kink play, any fetish shit, any like thing where you're being like a bit violent, even like with like spitting, if it's like a lot of spit, like just like nurture each other afterwards.
Right.
And
Like
not even
our bodies, we need to be taken care of.
you release a lot of chemicals. You also, and I'm sorry to sound hippie-ish, but whatever, it's an energy exchange. It's a fucking energy exchange, literally.
Yeah.
And when you're being hit like that and to like not check in, I'm like, and what fucking planet are you on? Okay, now I'm getting angry, but like, it really does upset me.
But he's okay. And then hold on. So I'm trying to imagine this. He's on top.
Yeah, so that's
You're on the bottom, and then he's like somehow like, slapping you over and over and over again.
It had to have been like on her thigh, you know, it's like.
yeah, like on like the booty meat on the side.
I hate that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And then we don't fucking say anything because we feel shy and uncomfortable.
I know, because we're just like, okay, I guess this is it.
And I don't know about y'all. Have you ever had a fucking conversation with a man after sex about something? Because a lot of the time it doesn't even go well.
I had one girl that asked me to start spanking her, and I didn't realize how much I wasn't into it
Oh, really?
until like I started to try, and I was just like, and I just like stopped, and I was just like, I'm not into this.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was like good up until then, and then it was like, oh, and then it was awkward after that because it's like, oh, I'm not fulfilling what she like asked for, but like I wasn't into it, and
then
it
you're in
was
your
like,
head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
I feel like there needs to. Oh, sorry.
Is missionary horrible for men when you guys are on top?
I like missionary.
You like being on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you prefer? Or do you not care?
I don't really care. I used to think that I did, but I don't really care.
Yeah. Same. Okay. Time for another one, guys. Love and light
Man,
to
this
all of you.
episode's bumming me out.
I know.
We're gonna
I'm getting
wrap it up
sad. I'm
soon.
getting
So
sad.
We have so many stories, but yeah.
Okay, this one's a good one. Okay. And by a good one, I mean I've just barely read any of these and I just pinpointed a few words. Seems like it's good. Okay. Hey Honks and unfortunately, aka holy shit.
Huh.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. Okay, we're gonna keep that one needs to go back to the writer's room, but love and light to you, love and light to you. Okay. A few years back, I left Ohio to finish undergrad at the University of Hawaii. I decided to extend my island girl lifestyle, it's giving Gabby, and pursue a top 10 Caribbean medical school. I'm not going to say what island because it'll be really easy to find the school. Anyways, I've been a high functioning addict since the 7th grade, but things started to really spiral out after my first year of medical school. Me and my ex-husband decided to separate, and I lost myself to depression and alcoholism. I started partying every day at the local beach bars, replacing meals with wine, and running to bathrooms to refill my nose with cocaine. I had lost 60 pounds in 2 months.
Whoa.
Oh my God. Because of my depression, and all of a sudden started getting attention from attractive men for the first time in my life. Thus began my raging hoe phase that had no ending in sight. I ran through all the European expats my heart desired. I'm talking Italian, Australian, British, Ukrainian, Hungarian, Serbian. The list goes on. I love fucking hot white guys, even though I'm a Nubian princess. Anyways, one expat in particular stood out among the rest, mostly because of our fling. Our fling started out so passionate, but then quickly devolved into the most awkward sexual encounter I've ever had. He was with a beautiful French scuba diving instructor with long curly brown locks, galaxy eyes, and a hypnotizing accent. He had just moved to the island a day or two prior and happened to be at the beach bar with some of my friends. We hit it off immediately. The sex and chemistry were intoxicating. We started seeing each other every day, fucking any chance we could. Okay. After a day or two, he mentioned that if we were going to see other people, he'd like it if I wear a condom. And since my hoe ass was fucking about 15 different guys on rotation, plus the vacationers, I assured him I would. The next afternoon, I found myself wasted in a hotel bathroom with a guy on vacation I had met at a beach bar. And while we did use a condom, I recall not noticing where the condom was after we had finished fucking. ... A couple days later, I was back in Frenchie's apartment, and we were, you guessed it, fucking. At some point, he started fingering me. About 30 seconds into fingering me, he has a confused look on his face and says, I think there's something in there.
No.
I had no idea what he was talking about and immediately brushed it off.
Your pussy must have smelled so bad.
Just wait. About 15 seconds go by of him fishing around in there, and he pulled out, wait for it, a condom that had been marinating in my pussy since my last hookup.
Oh my God.
It was at least 2 days old.
Oh my God.
I was mortified, as was he. I didn't really have a good excuse and just kept saying how embarrassed I was. He awkwardly said, well, at least you used a condom like I asked. Needless to say, we didn't finish fucking that night and things got super awkward. We tried to move past it. We even had a sleepover that night, drank wine and watched movies, but I could tell he felt emasculated and the vibes were hella off. I went home the next morning. He got over it in 2 to 3 days and we were back to fucking like nothing ever happened. The end. P.S. My life kept spiraling for a couple years, with the last house on the block being meth, alcohol, and benzos. I almost got kicked out of medical school and narrowly escaped being sent to jail. I realized I needed to go to rehab, and I'm now 10.5 months clean. Yay! Congratulations.
Good for you.
I'm about to start my clinical rotations here in the States. School is going better than ever. Thank you guys for the goofy energy, hilarious laughs, and vulnerable conversations you share with us. Love, a honklet.
Wow.
That made me emotional.
That made me emotional.
I know. Fuck.
That was an intense one.
Always medical. Nurses, doctors. They love drugs.
Yeah, I do. God, that was an intense story.
Oh my God, that really made me emotional. I'm so happy you got sober.
God, it's just like hearing this stuff. Yeah, it just makes me feel like dirty. Fuck. Not...
It's okay. So let's like explain that a little, because we're not judging y'all.
Not at all.
Like literally not at all.
Not
but
at
like,
all. Like it's the thing. It's just that energy, because we've all been through it so many times of like just like fucking people, like being careless with your body.
It like spiritually pollutes you.
Exactly.
But then we are so, and it's like,
but also we should be allowed to do that. It's like we are allowed to fuck and do whatever we want.
It's such a tricky concept though, because on one hand it's like, yeah, girl, go out and fucking get yours.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah. But then on the other hand, it's like,
at what cost?
At what fucking cost, huh?
Right.
Because it is a Or bonk. Why does it always have to be me being the fucking bonk? Okay. But like, I just think it's like interesting that like, it is a double-edged sword because on one hand, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be empowered. I can go out and do whatever the fuck I want and when I want, who I want it with. And honestly, yes, that's true. But I think honestly, like most things in life, I think there's a limit to where, or there's like a line to where it becomes like problematic, like with eating, with drinking, with sex, with sleeping, with whatever. And
because anything can
smoking,
be used as a form of like
escapism.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think having fun can kind of turn into a coping mechanism. And
well, she's also talking about how she's like, you know, in like doing drugs and getting fucked up. So all of this is like a big tornado of like escapism and depression and coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Again, not even judgmental all of any of the shit that, you know, you do, that anybody does sexually. Who gives a fuck? Go off, do whatever you want.
Yeah, do what's best for you.
It can be so taxing. It can spiritually.
It can just give your mind, body, and soul wear and tear.
Absolutely. It just does.
And it's a hard line to walk between like, you know, living like you're Samantha on Sex and the City and then, you know, realizing one day like, oh, I think I'm kind of like ruining my quality of life.
But your 10.5 months clean is fucking great. You said school is going better than ever.
Fucking incredible.
And that's a direct result of that, I bet you.
And like, that's such an inspiring story to hear how someone like is about to like lose it all. They're in a fucking K-hole. And then I think I just really like that story because it's like, just because you feel like you're about to be in a rock bottom doesn't mean that you have to stay in a rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. How much time do we have?
One more.
All right, I've got a small one.
Okay.
We have so many, but okay. This guy and I were friends, but had tension for a while. One day I pulled the trigger and sent him a text to come over and seal the deal. He comes over, we get straight to business. His dick was so small. And I mean so small. No. It felt illegal to touch it. Like literally child size.
Oh my God.
I couldn't feel a thing.
Jesus.
I literally stared at him while he gyrated on top of me, trying to make something happen. I couldn't even pretend. It was so awkward. I told him I was done. Didn't even let him finish. He left immediately after. Then proceeded to slut shame me from that day forward.
Because he felt vulnerable, so then he has to attack.
I honestly wasn't even surprised. Typical tiny peen behavior.
Here's what I have to say about having a small dick. Get a bigger one. A small organ. Yes. Like that. Here's what I would have to say about that. Well, actually, before I say it, do you guys think that if you are, you know, not well endowed, do you think you should have to give it, or not have to, but do you think it would be like better to give kind of a trigger warning?
I do.
Okay.
Off the bat, my immediate response to that is yes.
If it is, if she's saying childlike, like think about that. That's fucking small. So if you have it where it is I'm not just talking about like, you know, a 4-incher. She's talking like teeny like that.
Like a micro.
Like penis. A micro. I do feel like it would be something. I feel like it would be good to tell. I think I would like respect that more, and I would be more open to it.
Me too. If I was on a date with a guy and he was like, "Heads up, I have an extremely small penis," I'd be like, "Hard. That's really a hard thing to say."
That takes a lot of confidence.
It takes a lot, and I
think confidence that small dick guys just.
Of course, he slut shamed her afterwards. Of course, he slut shamed her
because we fucking attack when we feel threatened.
True,
and it's easier to go harsh than to go like gentle and soft because that's scary.
Yeah,
and rejection, the fear of rejection rules our fucking lives.
True, so true. Honk is spitting bars today.
Well, that's because I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was our episode. I
hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope you guys did. I thank you guys so much also just for everyone that like writes in, like truly from the bottom of our hearts. Like the things that you guys share with us are so fucking vulnerable, and I'm really grateful that you guys take the time to write these emails. And
yeah, and we're again sorry if we don't get to your emails. We will. We do, and we love you guys. Please keep writing us. And also join us on Patreon because that's where we get extra saucy and with things.
We also read sometimes we read like the stories on Patreon too. So if you guys you're missing your story on the public, sometimes it just ends up on Patreon.
Which we'll read some over there because we have a lot of extras today. And Yeah, so subscribe.
Patreon.com, tea time 42069. We love
Follow
to
us
see
on
it.
Instagram. We have a new TikTok account. Follow us
Honey,
on TikTok.
we do have a new TikTok account.
Share, like, subscribe.
We release all of the prompts on the Tea Time Instagram account, Tea Time 42069.
We do. And again, thank you guys for subscribing to the Patreon. You have no idea how fucking grateful we are for that.
You guys are like starting
you guys
to
are
like change
amazing.
our lives, and it's really fucking cool.
Yeah, you are.
We're so fucking grateful for y'all. And okay, not me feeling like really emotional about this podcast right now. So we need to wrap this up. We're gonna start crying. But I love you guys.
Yeah. And continue to listen. We love you. Keep sharing your stories.
Oh, I thought you were about to fart on me.
No, I got all my farts out.
Okay, good,
love
good,
you.
good.
Bye.
Okay, bye guys.